Are we ready? Okay, give me your biggest, best Sunday Phoenix Comicon yell. All right, our guest this morning has shown that he is equally as comfortable in a mask as the romantic hero as he is in the shoes of a crazy psychopath. Please help me welcome Mr. Cary Elwes.
What a crowd, wow, what a welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait, I want to hear it again, one more time. Awesome, thank you.
All right, before I put you over there,
Okay.
well, you can go over there anytime you want, or over here. If you want to stay at the podium with me, you can. This is yours, whatever makes you happy.
Hello. Is this on?
It would be better if you had sound.
Okay, here we go. Hi.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, because I know a million of them are going to ask you this. Princess Bride, will you say those three little words for us?
What three little words you Wait, say that again. As you wish. You are sweet.
Quick, come on, come on.
How cool is that? You are adorable. Thank you. Wow, now my day is complete.
That was the best fan interaction you could have started with.
Can't beat that.
That is pretty awesome. So you may have just made a lifelong fan here, and so she might be one to tell about your new book.
Yes. Yes. Hi. I just want to say that if you like The Princess Bride, I'm assuming, just yell if you like The Princess Bride. Do any of you have an Amazon account in the room? Yeah. Okay. I wrote a book about the making of The Princess Bride. If you go to your Amazon account, you can pre-order with one click. And for that $18, and that's a deal, you save 10 bucks, you will get the entire story of how this movie was made. And I'm very blessed in that I got to co-write it with the whole cast. So Billy Crystal talks about his scenes, and Robin Wright, Mandy Patinkin, everything. And I had great fun writing it, and I think you guys will love it. If you're fans of the movie, you'll love this book. So please order it and tell your friends, okay?
So along those lines, Princess Bride recently had its 25th anniversary. What was it like being back with all of your castmates?
That was a very special reunion because even though we're all still in touch with each other, it's very rare to get us all in the same room at one time. And it was just weird. An amazing, wonderful thing to think that 25 years had gone by. I mean, where did it go? That was my first question to myself. Where the heck did that go? But we got to see a brand new print that they screened at the Lincoln Center in New York, and Bill Goldman, who wrote the book, was sitting behind me. And he hadn't seen it with an audience since it opened in Toronto in 1987. And all the fans in the audience they knew every line. You know, there's quite a few quotable lines, as you know, in the movie, right? And so he was sitting behind me, and every time, you know, the audience would quote lines, or, you know, things like anyone want a peanut and things like that, he would sit there behind me and go, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. And so after the movie, he was very moved because it's his favorite book, and it's his favorite movie, and it's his favorite screenplay. And after the movie, I said, Bill, what do you think? He goes, I can't believe it. I mean, they just love the movie. I can't believe it, how much they love it. And I said, Bill, you wrote a classic. And, you know, that's how I feel about this film. I feel so blessed to be part of a film that started out as a little modest movie and now has become all of this, you know? So that's why I wrote this book. So it's a book from the heart, like the movie is a movie from the heart. And I think you'll all enjoy it. So, like I said, please go out and buy it. It would mean a lot to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. Thank you.
So, I have one other question. You've also been involved with a lot of period pieces,
yeah.
And you've also recently hit the horror circuit with Saw.
Yes. Thank you.
Fill us in a little bit. How did we go from the Dread Pirate Roberts and romantic leads to Saw?
Well, I wanted to broaden my fan base. It's very rare that I meet a Saw and Princess Bride fan. It's true, but they're out there. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. You know, I met James Wan, the director, who's now directing Fast and Furious. He's a wonderful guy, very sweet guy, and he's such an artist. He's from Melbourne, and he studied at the Melbourne Film School, and when I met him, he had a portfolio of drawings under his arm, and he opened up the portfolio at lunch, and he started letting me see all these drawings, and they were all watercolors, and beautiful ink and watercolor paintings of the sets. There was a painting of the bathroom, and then there was a painting of the pig mask thing, which was kind of terrifying, and then I saw this blueprint of this trap. I think he called it the reverse bear trap, for you guys who know the movie. And it was exactly. And it was very graphic and very detailed, and it had, you know, screws and nuts and bolts and things like that. And I said, my gosh, James, that looks so detailed. And he goes, yeah, it's operational. And he had spent so much time working on the detail of this film that he'd contacted an engineer and made this thing actually operational. And so I was so impressed by his obvious talent and his very warm charm and his passion for film. And so that's why I did it, yeah. We shot it in like 18 days, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
For something that technical, that's quite fast.
Yeah, it was very fast. And then it became a huge runaway success, so I'm very blessed, very blessed.
Cool. Well, I think...
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Don't let me step on love, that's fine. We're going to kick it out to the audience, and I think we'll just go back to Cutie over here and let her start.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
It's been a while.
It's finally on. Do you perhaps have 6 fingers on your right hand?
I'm the man in black, not the guy who killed Ina Montoya's
I
father.
know, but remember that part?
Yeah, I sure do. You know what part I remember the best? Is the moment when I just hugged you.
I thought so too.
Yes. You are sweet.
What's your favorite X-Men character?
You're smart.
Mine's
And
Nightcrawler.
obviously you've seen a lot of movies, haven't you? Okay, my favorite X-Men character. Gosh, they're all so good. I mean, I'd have to say Wolverine, I know. He's really cool, and Hugh Jackman's a great guy. So
Mine right now is Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, okay. Wow, you're quite advanced. How old are you?
9.
9. Very cool. Very cool.
Can I have another hug?
They are free.
No. You don't want to. Later, remind me. Or be that cute. Grab each other. We're good.
Almost didn't make that.
Hi. So while The Princess Bride is actually my favorite movie, I really just enjoy watching you act.
Thank you.
Such like all your other films. You know how they're actually thinking of making The Princess Bride the musical?
Yes.
Given the chance, would you actually be a part of it, even as like the old man or like the king or something?
You mean based on my just trying to jump up on the stage and nearly hitting the deck? Yes, I'm a very old man.
He was really good. And I
You're
know
very sweet. I do believe the musical is happening. I had dinner with William Goldman a couple of nights ago, and it looks like the Broadway musical is finally happening. Yes. Yes. After a long time, it's finally coming to fruition. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to be a part of it, but I will certainly be there opening night. But thank you. Thank you for your very kind comment. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Amazing. So you've done so many obviously diverse roles and so many different genres. Do you have any way of preparing for each of these roles that's kind of unique to you? Anything that's like a little quirk that helps you get in the mindset of each character?
I just research everything. I love research. You know, I started, this is how old I am actually, I started in the business before there was the internet. I know, I mean, you guys, it's crazy, isn't it? It's hard to believe there was a time before the internet, but there was. And so, you know, I used to go to the libraries a lot, wherever I was. So for instance, when I was making Glory, I went to Boston and I found Captain Shaw's letters in a museum library there, and I read them all, and that was, so the research is actually half the fun for me. And what I do usually is I just get as many books, or now, you know, going online and finding out as much information as I can if it's a historical piece or a character that I'm interested in that has some details that I want to look up and study, and I just download it all in my brain, and then just bring that to work and
So
apply
then
it.
for Despero.
For Despero. Thank you. Well, there weren't that many art thieves available for me to talk to. But I did go online and look up, you know, how that whole business of art theft and how the FBI work and how these guys have gotten away with it and how some of us, I think there's even a Vermeer that's still missing from Boston or something like that. So there's a, you know, it's a lot of fun. The research is half the fun. To me, it's like, it's a continued education for me. You know, I mean, this is how blessed my life is. I get to play race car drivers, so I get to learn how to race Daytona. You know, I play an astronaut, so I get taught by real astronauts how to work a lunar module. I mean, it's like a dream come true for me. My life is really incredibly blessed, you know?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Nervous.
Don't be.
Too late.
What's your name?
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. So my question is with the roles concerning like the Princess Bride and Men in Tights, what?
Thank you.
What made you decide to pick those roles? Like, what made you decide to accept it?
What, both of those? Well, I had seen Spinal Tap. Yeah, exactly. And like most of you, I was blown away by how incredibly funny that movie is, even to this day. It's brilliant. So when I heard that Rob wanted to come and meet me, I was shooting a film in Berlin. This is all in the book, by the way, so you should definitely get the book because it's better written than what I'm trying to tell you right now. So when he came to Berlin to meet me and talk to me about the part, I was completely in awe of the man already. I'd already seen, I grew up with All in the Family, watching that show as a kid, and but I'd seen Spinal Tap, and I just thought, my gosh, the idea of this man who was working with one of my favorite screenwriters, Bill Goldman, getting together to make this film of this book that I'd read when I was 13, I just thought it was, again, a dream come true, and I thought, there's no chance I'm going to get this role because Rob decided to ask me to read. He flew all the way to Berlin, but then he asked me to read for it, and I'm terrible at reading for parts. And I thought, that's it. I started to read the scene. I think I read the scene where Wesley talks about how the Dread Pirate Roberts kidnapped him, and that whole bit, yeah. And he stopped me halfway through, and he goes, "Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's fine." And I go, oh, and my heart sank. I'm like, oh God, that's it. I've lost the parts. Forget it. So he goes, we're gonna talk to your agent, and we'll see how it goes, and maybe if we can make a deal, and we'll let you know. And I thought, when you hear a director say, "We'll let you know," it usually means you never hear from him again. And like a week later, I got the call from my agent that they wanted me to do the picture. So I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it. So it gave me the career I have and the incredible life that I lead today. Mel Brooks. I grew up with Mel Brooks. As you can tell, I'm a great fan of comedy. And so I'd seen all of Mel Brooks' movies. I mean, I'd seen everything. 12 Chairs. Yes, anyone seen 12 Chairs? You guys seen 12 Chairs? Dom DeLuise. I asked Mel for Dom DeLuise to be in the movie based on 12 Chairs. I love Dom DeLuise so much, God bless him. And so I made that one demand. I said, you gotta put Dom DeLuise in the movie. And, but I'd seen Blazing Saddles, I'd seen Frankenstein, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just classic comedy. So he didn't make me read, thank goodness. But we had a lot of fun doing it, and I helped cast Dave Chappelle, who obviously is, yeah, that's right. I mean, he's just amazing. He came in red, and we were just blown away by this guy. We just thought, this man's a huge talent, and my gosh, we were lucky to have him. Yeah, it was great fun. So again, yeah, I was very blessed. Yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you for doing it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
First of all, I cannot believe I'm talking to you right now. Oh my God, fantastic moment. I'm shaking, oh my God, okay. So I love you in Princess Bride, first of all, of course. But you've done so many different roles. You've done, the funny, but then you've also done some really dark roles as well.
Yeah.
As an actor, what are you the most proud of doing? Like, is it things like Princess Bride that's the comedy, or are they some of the darker roles that you did more acting?
Very proud of most of my work, actually. I mean, some don't always turn out the way you hope. But for the most part, like I said, I've had a very blessed career. I've got to work with some amazing directors. I've got to work with, Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, this guy was like a hero to me growing up. I'd seen, obviously, The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, Conversation, Rain People, everything. I mean, I just was blown away by this man. So, I remember when I went to meet him on the Sony lot to talk about the part, I said to him, "For you, Mr. Coppola, I work for a ham sandwich." And I was quoting Erich von Stroheim. And I thought he wouldn't get it. He went, "Oh, Erich von Stroheim." So we bonded very quickly over that. And he's, I've had an incredible career, really. I mean, every role has been an education, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, who'd have guessed this little kid from London, would have this life, this blessed life that I have. I got to race Daytona. How crazy is that? I mean, come on. It's nuts. I had Dale Earnhardt teach me how to drive. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name?
That's really good, okay. Hi, I'm wish?
Again?
Yeah.
Sure. As you wish. You're very sweet.
Okay, my real question is, how was it like working with Andre the Giant?
Ah, the great Andre. Well, I talk about him a lot in the book. So again, I'm going to plug the book. Andre really was a gentle giant, you know. I mean, he was 7'4", 450 pounds, and he was like the 8th wonder of the world. You know, whenever he walked into a room, he had to bow his head low to get in through the door frame. And so, you know, he had a pretty rough life, really, even though he was a very successful wrestler and big star in the wrestling circuit. You know, it was very hard for him because he couldn't sit down at a normal table, and no chairs really fit him. You know, he had to get 2 chairs put together. Beds were often uncomfortable. Toilets were obviously an issue. You know, but he was just the sweetest guy, and he, I'll never forget, he was a real foodie. You know, he grew up in France. He grew up in a little village in France, and he told me this great story about how he couldn't fit on the school bus because when he was about 12 years old, he was already 6'3" or something like that. And so it was a problem for him because he couldn't walk to school, and he couldn't fit on the bus. And he said, "Oh yeah, boss." He called everybody boss. I love that about him too. I mean, the idea of a 7'5" giant calling you boss. He said, "Yeah, boss, so this guy come one day and he made friend with my father and he drove me to school." I said, "Somebody drove you to school every day?" He goes, "Yeah, boss. He's the only guy who had a convertible in the village." And I said, "Really? Who was that?" He goes, "Oh, it's just some guy, a writer, his name was Samuel Beckett." And it was the playwright, Samuel Beckett, who drove him to school every day. So if you Google him, if you don't know who he is, he's an incredible playwright. And, but Andre, he was the sweetest. He didn't care for the British food. By the way, Britain is not known for its culinary genius. And he took one look at the catering on our set, and he went, "No, no, boss, no." And on his day off, he drove his truck, a specially modified, truck that he had, and he went over to France on the ferry, and he came back, and he filled the truck with crates of pâté and foie gras and cheese and lots of wine, which the producers confiscated because I know. Well, he drank most of it, I think. But he was already, the crew loved him already, but after that, he could do no wrong. People, the crew wandering around going, "More pâté, more foie gras." So yeah, he was just a sweetheart, and I miss him to this day. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to start by thanking you. It's partially your fault why I'm a total sword geek and involved in the Western martial arts community.
Oh, right on.
I wanted to ask you, your fight with Mandy is largely considered to be one of the greatest sword fights in cinema history by the Western martial arts community. I wanted to ask you about your training for that. How was all that?
Yes. Okay, so that's an interesting story also in the book. Do you see how I kind of snuck that in there? Subtle, that's right, thank you. Subtle. I broke my toe making the film. Yeah, Andre couldn't walk around too much because he had a really bad back, and because in wrestling, I think they took it very seriously with him. People would just bash the back of his head with real metal chairs, and for real, and so the poor guy was in a lot of pain. And we shot a lot of sequences up in the hills in Derbyshire, right? And so he couldn't walk up a hill like that, and so he wouldn't make it on time for the scene, So they got him an ATV, an all-terrain vehicle. I don't know how they found one in England. They weren't popular back then. But they found one, and he loved it. He was
like, oh, boss, I have one of these at home. These are great, boss, great.
And he was moving around, he was having fun, he was going up and down hills, and to see a 450-pound guy going up and down the hills, you take notice of that, And he comes zooming by me, he goes,
Boss, hey, check it out.
and one day he pulled up to me, he goes,
Boss,
I go, what?
you want to try it, don't you?
I go, what?
He goes, you want to, boss.
I go, Andre, I can't, I don't know how to ride one of these.
It's easy, boss. It's like a motorbike. Come on, you want to.
So the first day, I politely decline, I'm like, Andre, that's fine.
Okay, boss.
Took off again, zoom, right? Next day, same thing, pulled up.
Hey, boss.
Hi, Andre.
You know you want to.
So like a twit, I went, oh, all right, fine.
Yeah, come on, boss, come on.
He gets off this thing, immediately it suddenly comes up in the air. I sit on it, and his handler says to me, he's a British guy, he goes, oh, it's very easy now. And I said, flat sheets are bright, it's just like buying Bob's your uncle. So I get on this thing, switch it on, I start to go up the hill, and the crew are watching me bemused, they're like, what's he doing? And I tried to switch gears, and I went over a rock. At the very moment that I switched gears, and my toe got caught between the rock and the clutch, and it bent backwards. And it was a quick break. I just felt it break. It went like that, and I just felt it. Oh, great. We're 2 weeks into filming, and I broke my toe, and we haven't even got to the sword fighting scene yet. And I'm nervous as heck because I'm thinking, that's it, they're gonna fire me for sure, right? I mean, here I am. It's like if you get an accident on a film set, if you get an accident while you're shooting, it's like workers' comp, like anywhere else where you work, right? And the insurance covers it, and they take a break from shooting, and they take a break from work, and the insurance covers it, and so on, right? But if you break it doing something stupid, like riding around on Andre the Giant's all-terrain vehicle, then you're just a dumbass. And nobody really cares about insurance at all, or anything like that. You're just a dumbass. And so I was terrified, and I kept saying that the set nurse came over to me, the set medic, she takes off my boot, she goes, yes, I'm afraid it's a clean break. Broke it. I go, why? You gotta fix it. I mean, I gotta go back to work. She goes, can't really fix it. Can't put a cast on it or nothing. I go, well, what can you do? What can you do? I gotta go back to work. What can we do? She goes, I could probably make up a little splint. I said, do it. So she pulls out, I don't know, some tongue depressors or something, and she quickly makes a splint for me. And I'm telling everyone, don't tell Rob, it's all right, it's cool, don't worry, I'm fine. I get to my feet and I can barely walk. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was so painful. So I get in the van, we ride up to the hill where I'm shooting a scene with Robin. I think it's a scene where I'm running down into the fire swamp, and I say to her, your big fiance is too late, we've already made it, right? And if you look at the scene, you can see me hopping. I'm just hopping. And Rob comes up to me, he goes, how you doing? I go, fine. Why, how are you? He goes, I'm fine. You sure you're okay? I'm like, piece of cake. It's perfect. He goes, when were you gonna tell me? And I went, oh man, I am so sorry, Rob. I feel like such a twit. He goes, don't worry about it, man. We'll be fine. Can you walk? I go, well, yeah, I can walk. He goes, can you run? I go, yeah, I lied through him. I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, what about the sword fight? I go, we'll be fine. And God bless him, I went straight to the doctor, to the hospital after we shot. And I was still in my Man in Black outfit because they wanted to rush me right there. And I remember the doctor looked at me and went, you're pretty clumsy for Zorro, aren't you? So that whole sword fight sequence, I wasn't just not left-handed, I was not operating with a fully functioning left toe. So we were kind of proud of it. So given that I was a little bit handicapped, Thank you for mentioning how much you liked that. I really appreciate it. We had a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, what's your name?
Eleanor.
Hello, Eleanor.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. A little nervous, excited.
Oh, that's okay.
You're like my crush.
Oh, that's right. All
And
right.
yes, my husband is okay. Is this fair? Smart cat.
There we go. Yay!
Thank you for that. That was really sweet.
Thank you.
Made my day. So I was going to ask you, out of all the roles aside from Princess Bride, what has been your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I've had so many. Like I mentioned earlier, I've had so many great movies. Days of Thunder was a lot of fun. You want to hear a Days of Thunder story? Okay. So, I thought I was a kind of hot, flash, young guy back then. Thank you. So I rented, we shot in Daytona during spring break. So I rented I didn't just rent any car. I rented a Corvette Stingray. Because I thought it was so cool. Job. And, yeah, to quote Eddie Izzard, job. And, I don't know what I was thinking, driving a Corvette to work every day. I mean, really, what was I thinking? But I arrived at Daytona one day, and Randy Quaid, who played the guy who owned the racing team in the movie, he never got to race in the film, and he felt left out. So he saw me pull up one morning, he goes, "Move over." And he literally pushes me into the passenger seat, gets behind the wheel, and floors it onto the track, onto the Daytona track, which, by the way, you're not allowed to drive regular cars on the Daytona track. They're like very serious about that. And I'm like going, "Randy, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He was like, "Come on, I got this. And he floors it onto the track. And I'll never forget, Tom Cruise was in the middle of handing a check to the owner of Daytona. So they're holding one of those fake giant checks and getting the pictures taken. And I'll never forget, we passed this guy doing about 80 miles an hour, and I saw the owner of the track going, "What the hell?" And within seconds, there were Daytona police. They have their own, police that work the track there. I hear, "Woo!" like that behind. I look behind, there's two cops chasing us. I go, Randy, pull over." He goes, "What?" I go, there's cops behind." He goes, they haven't seen us. We're on an oval. And that's what I said to him. I said, "Randy, we're on an oval." They've got their speaker, they've got their walkie-talkie. They're like, "Pull over the car right now, pull over. We are serious, we're not kidding, pull over." So Randy pulled over, he goes, "They will never catch us. We're in a Stingray, man." And sure enough, they went right past us and stopped us. And they jump out of the car, and they're nervous, they're adrenaline's out. They're like, "Step out of the car, show us your hands." They've got their guns drawn and everything. Randy gets out, he goes, "I'm an actor, don't shoot me, I'm an actor." So that was the crazy day with Randy on the track. But we nearly got arrested. Crazy. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very pleased and scared to be here. So my question, my sister
and I, we love watching The Princess Bride, we love Men in Tights, but we're really huge fans of Psych, and so and you were wonderful on the show, and so I was wondering, as well as my sister, how it was like being on the set with Dule Hill and James Roday being as crazy as they are.
It's crazy. First time I heard Dule do his little scream, he goes, "Ah." I lost it. I thought he was just joking. I didn't, you know, I'd seen a few episodes, but I somehow missed that scream until the day it was suddenly performed for me. And they were just hilarious, these guys. All day. I think they should compile like an episode of just outtakes, right? Shouldn't they? If you guys blog USA and on the Psych network, I'm sure they'll accommodate you if they get enough emails. But yeah, I think they should. I mean, we had so much fun making it. It was just crazy. I just a laugh fest all day. I mean, Roday, he's nuts. He's totally nuts. And I just love them. I love them dearly. I had such a good time making it, and I missed them dearly. It was a great show. I had a blast. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And your hair still is fantastic.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi. So, quick question.
Is it Lauren?
Lauren.
Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hi. Between silly comedies and mainstream comedies like Liar Liar,
Yes.
and then dramas and horror, is there a genre that you really love?
That I love more than any other genre?
Yeah, like, because you've done them all, and I would think slapstick and or horror would be super fun.
I haven't done sci-fi, so I guess that might be interesting to do that. Right? Star Wars, there you go. I could play a Wookiee. You want to hear my Wookiee? Maybe?
But do you have a favorite genre that you've done?
I love them all. I love all genres. I do. I'm not partial to one over another. Perhaps, well, that's probably not true. If you look at the body of my work, I do tend to pick historical pieces. Yes. I love history. I love, it was my favorite subject at school. So, thank you. Yeah. So, historical pieces tend to fascinate me. I love looking back and learning from our past. I think that's always fascinating and interesting. Lady Jane, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So, but I'd like to try my hand at every genre. I like mixing it up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lauren. Hello. Hi. What's your name?
My name's Heather.
Hello, Heather.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I was going to ask about Psych, but you already told my question.
Oh yeah.
Given the opportunity and the right piece, would you go back and do stage work?
Oh sure. Yeah. I love doing theater. I haven't really gotten a chance to do much of it. Not as much as I'd like to anyway. But yeah, I'd love to. Somebody asked me that today. I'd like to do, some Tennessee Williams or Tom Stoppard or something like that. Yeah, I'd love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Leanne.
Hi, Leanne.
Hi. My question for you is,
Yes.
who or what was your greatest inspiration?
Who is or what is my greatest inspiration? Was?
Getting into acting.
Oh, can I say who is my greatest inspiration?
Sure, yeah, whatever you feel.
My greatest inspiration is my daughter. Yeah. She's 7 years old and she inspires me every day. And she's very playful. And I'm really good at Barbies now. Real good. Oh, you betcha. We got characters going on. It's like Downton Abbey up there. Great. So yeah, my wife thinks that's very cute, that I play with dolls and dress up with her. I mean, sometimes she'll do my hair in the morning and with braids and stuff. It's crazy. I love her. Anyway, yeah, I'm very blessed. She's my greatest inspiration. Always will be. Yeah. Hello.
first I'd like to say, you know, in the years that have passed since Princess Bride,
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, but you look like you've barely changed.
Oh,
I'm so
thank you.
jealous.
What's your name?
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. My question is actually, I'm also a huge Mel Brooks fan.
Okay,
And that you
cool.
had the honor to work with Mel Brooks,
Yes.
who is luckily still with us. But do you have any funny stories? Is he as funny directing, or does he become the harder director?
No, he's so fun on the set. He's all about positive affirmation. His favorite word is yes. After everything, yes! Unless he doesn't like it, in which case it's But for the most part, what I got was yes! Which was nice. To get positive affirmation from the great Mel Brooks is always a nice thing. He was just a delight. I think he just loves directing. He loves doing it. He's great at it. You know, he's fantastic with the crew and the cast. Being an actor himself, I think actor-directors really make the best directors. They really do, because they get actors and they get it in ways that other directors might have to pick up on their own without acting. You know, but he's just a joy to work with. I would work with him, you know, in a heartbeat if I got the call tomorrow. I just love him dearly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello. Wow. You look great. What's your name?
Deadpool.
How cool is this guy? Let's give him a round of applause for Tadpole. He stands there, folded arms, and just takes it. Very cool. Okay, Tadpole, lay it on me. Are we gonna have a stare down? You're cooler than I am, man.
What was the funniest thing that happened on the set of The Princess Bride?
Funniest thing? It might have to have been Andre the Giant's 18-second fart. Yes, and if you want to know more, you know what to do. It was pretty magnificent. Let me just put it this way. Even the sound man had to lift his earphones. It could be heard in Detroit. It was monumental. There's at least 4 or 5 pages dedicated to what I refer to as the mighty wind. So yes, that was probably the funniest moment in the whole movie. Thank you for asking that. You're welcome.
I was wondering if we could take a picture, and then also, what was your favorite part to film during Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Okay, favorite moment in Robin Hood Men in Tights was, I guess, for me, the whole picture was fun to me, as I mentioned earlier. It was a joy. I would show up early for work and leave late, you know. Sometimes I'd come on my day off and Mel would go, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be home." I go, "Well, Mel, I just want to be here and enjoy it with you." He goes, "Okay, come and sit over here, come on." So it was just a joy for me every day. Probably my proudest moment was Mel comes up to me and he goes, "Okay, after lunch you're gonna have to shoot an arrow and hit this bullseye." I go, "What?" He goes, yeah, you're gonna hit the bullseye." And this was before CGI, you know? And I'm thinking, "You're kidding, right?" He goes, you can do it. Here's the archer. Got the archer guy, come over here. And the archery stunt double comes over and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna hit a bullseye right after lunch. Don't worry about it, it's gonna be fun." And I'm thinking, I've never taken an archery lesson in my life. Who are you kidding? So the pressure was on, you know? So all during lunch, I took everybody went to eat. I practiced with this guy all during lunch. And I'm hitting cats and trees and stuff. It's just crazy. And I'm sweating. I'm just sweating. And I'm looking at my watch and time is ticking away and people are starting to come back from lunch. I'm going, this is not gonna happen. I'm not gonna happen. Mel comes up and goes, "Yeah, you ready? We're gonna shoot this. You ready to hit a bullseye?" I go, "Mel, well, I should." "Hey, all right, let's get together. Let's get the cameras rolling. Come on, let's go. And so we line up the shot. First one I missed. Second one I missed. Third one, by total, complete and utter disbelief on my face and utter chance, it hit the bullseye. And that's the scene in the movie, and of course I stood there like, piece of kid. But we could have been there all day, But thank goodness I had this great guy who helped me learn during lunch, and thank goodness we got one. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, let's take a picture.
I know it's funny me taking a picture. Death of using iPhones. Actually, my daughter.
So we're at 2 selfies and 8 mentions of your book. This is a great panel.
And a hug. Only 8 mentions?
Only 8.
Did I mention my book?
All right, darling, down here.
Hello.
No, over here? Oh, we're coming way over here.
Way over there. Hi.
Hi, I have a question.
What's your name?
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
All right. You're good at playing heroes, but do you like playing villains as much like you did in Kiss the Girls?
Haha. Yes. Kiss the Girls. Actually, I was in my hotel room 2 nights ago and it was on because I couldn't sleep and I was watching TNT and it came on. I don't normally watch my own work. But it was midnight and I was trying to fall asleep. I thought, well, I'll watch my own performance. That'll probably do it, But I was actually kind of blown away by how the film still holds up. And, again, I have to say, I was so blessed to get to work with these talented people. I mean, here I am working with Morgan Freeman, and for the second time, what are the chances of that? We'd done Glory together, and here I was making this picture with him, and he was just he and Ashton, the whole cast were incredible. Him, Ashton Judd, Tony Goldwyn. We just had an incredible time making it. It was the first real dark role I had, and Gary Frieda, the director, just gave me free rein to do, just encouraged me to go further with it all the time. And so it was a real joy for me to get to do a big movie like that with these wonderful, talented people. And yeah, it's always, I guess, I don't know why it is that the Brits get to play more villains than Americans. Why is that? I guess in our accent? It's the accent, it is? Okay. I don't know why. Huh? Revolutionary War, okay. All right, we're gonna go there. I always say I'm British by birth, but American by choice. Yes. Does that answer your question? Did I mention my book?
Yeah, you answered my question. Could I have a hug too?
Sorry?
Could I have a hug too?
Of course.
There's
Not as old as I think I am. Oh, thank you, Jen.
It's the Phoenix Comicon exercise routine.
There you go. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's your
today?
name?
My name is Busy.
busy. That's
Yes.
a fabulous fez you got.
Thank you very much. I'm a lady Shriner, so I thought
Very
I would
nice,
wear it.
very nice.
My question to you is, as you said before, The Princess Bride is a very quotable movie, and sometimes you're just walking down the street and you say, do you think that'll work? And it'll take a miracle. Do you do that? And have you ever been on a quote off? I have 3 younger sisters and we quote that movie all the time, and we have one who's the reigning Princess Bride champion because she can beat us all the
Really?
time. Yeah.
She knows every
She
quote?
knows every word, and if one of us says a
Wow.
quote and we say it wrong, she goes, nope, that's wrong. You
No
didn't do
way.
it right.
What's her name?
Her name is Jennifer.
You tell Jennifer I'm very impressed.
I will.
You know, the first time I heard somebody mention those 3 words to me, I was in a restaurant, and I think I was ordering, I don't know, hamburger or turkey burger or something, and the waitress went, how do you want that done? I went, medium rare. She goes, as you wish. And I looked at her and went, what? She goes, you know. And so it was kind of wonderful and weird at the same time because I've never had anyone quote lines to me before from my movie, you know. And it was a beautiful thing because the film, when it opened, really it wasn't a big success. Because the studio didn't know how to sell it. They didn't know, was it a fantasy, was it a kid's movie, was it a girly movie because it's a princess in the title, or was it a comedy? They didn't know how to sell it. So the movie actually didn't even have a trailer when it came out. If you can believe that. They had one, I think, and then they pulled it. And so the movie came and went, disappeared, and so it was kind of mostly dead, you know, for a while, until this new thank you. That's also in my book. As You Wish, available October 14th. And then this new medium called VHS came about, and you have it on VHS. It's amazing. People still have their VHS copies. They come up to me and they're like, you know, you realize we broke this. I watched it so many times it's broken. But will you sign it? You know, it's great. It's really great. I can't believe it. So people started renting it and then sharing it with friends and then giving us gifts at holidays and then buying it themselves for their library. And then suddenly this mostly dead film had a rebirth. And that's when I started getting people quoting lines to me. So yeah, it was very sweet, very nice, yeah. Nice surprise.
Well, that's good, but I definitely will tell her that she'll be very excited.
Tell her from me I'm very impressed. And I hope one day we get a quote off together. Okay?
She'll be ready.
She'll probably be better than I am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello. What's your name?
Ariana.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So my question is, what do you like to do on your spare time? Like, what makes you really get up and be like, oh yeah?
Playing with my daughter, you know? I know it sounds corny, but I really do. I value, I'm very blessed, like I said, I get to work a lot as an actor. I'm very fortunate. So the quality time that I have with my daughter is, that I take that very seriously. I know, it sounds weird. Take playing with Barbie seriously, I do. Ken is no longer named Ken. I think his name is Trevor. He's got a whole history, he's got a family and kids and the whole thing. It's amazing, yeah. So I try to encourage her imagination. And at the same time, she helps me encourage mine, you know? Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Thank you. It is a good thing.
I have another question.
Yes.
Okay, can I have a hug from you?
Of course.
hug and take photos with everybody, but we have 5 minutes left, and I want to make sure we get as many people through as we can. So no more hugs, please. You can hug him later. I'm sure he'll be okay with this.
Yes, we can have a hug-a-thon later. Okay. Just come by my booth. Hugs are always free. Yes.
From him.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Jason.
Hi, Jason.
I played the Bard's Tale, and I loved the interaction between the narrator and your character, and I was just wondering, was it different doing voice acting? I don't even know if you were necessarily in the same room as the guy playing the narrator, and I mean, that interaction was great, and I was just wondering, were there any challenges associated with the fact that it was
The Bard's Tale?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's an obscure one. Yeah, they were very nice, the producers of that show. They basically asked me to help them write it, which I'd never been asked to do before. And I didn't know anything about video games, really. It was a very early one, if you remember. I think it's like a CD-ROM kind of a game, originally, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So they brought me in, and we sat down, and we figured out the parameters of the story and what, obviously, make it funnier. That's what they wanted. They said, we really want this to be funnier. If you can make it funnier, that'd be great. So we sat down, I sat down with the writer, and we kind of worked on it together, which was a new experience for me. So that was kind of fun. Voiceover work, it's fun. As you can tell, I like doing voices. Yeah. So, I'm quite fortunate that I have that career as well. I did Cosmos recently. I played Serenity Alley. Yeah, that's right. That's a good show. And I've done Family Guy. Yeah. So I'm very fortunate. It's fun to do. Yeah. It's very easy. You can show up to work and you don't have to shave or anything. That's right. You can just come in and do that. And you're good to go. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. What's your name?
I'm Kayla.
Hello, Kayla. How are you?
Good.
Did you enjoy getting pushed down a giant hill?
You mean the Princess Bride when you roll down the hill?
Yeah.
That wasn't me. I know. After I broke my toe, you think they're gonna let me roll down a hill? Are you kidding? No, that was our wonderful Andy Bradford, my stunt double, and Robin's stunt double as well, rolling down the hill. And I remember I think they had to do it twice because they realized that his mask has to come off because at the end of the hill, and suddenly Wesley again. So God bless them. They were very brave and did that roll down that hill. And we just came in and looped the lines later where I say, those 3 words, And what words? That's right, those words. And yeah, so it was, luckily, I was not injured again in that particular stunt. Although, if you read the book, did I mention the book? If you read the book, you'll find out that yes, I did get injured one more time on the film, being the klutz that I am. So, actually that one wasn't my fault. Somebody hit me with a sword on my head. But you have to read it to find out. So, I know. We gotta save something, right?
I would ask for a hug, but she said no more hugs.
Oh, you can have it.
I'm in the middle. Fine, I'm just me. You go get a hug. Go get a hug. I think the hug about this started. And the last 2 minutes of our panel are hugging Cary Elwes.
Yes, you included. Come on by my booth, and I will happily share my hugs with you. Tadpole, give it up for Tadpole. Tadpole. Excuse me, Deadpool. What was I thinking? Give it up for Deadpool and Spider-Man. Thank you all for coming. It really means a lot to me. And be sure to buy the thing I mentioned. Thank you. God bless. As you wish.